Why don't we start with how to improve your diet with Hamza Ahmed?
I remember when I was younger and I had struggled with improving my diet for years and years and years. And in 2020, I implemented a few different strategies that I had really seen anyone else speak about. And since that point, I've had really good control over the things that I eat. And to put this into perspective, like for most of my childhood and teenage years, I was kind of like a locust. Like I kind of had like the munchies, but without smoking weed, where I'd eat like the random, like, the back of the cupboard snacks that had been there and they would pass their like expiration date. I was eating that. I had this like weird drain of willpower where I'd be in the store and I'd be holding up like two different snacks and I couldn't decide which one. And like I didn't know which one to eat. It was like such a big decision for me. Like it was so important to know which snack was the right one for me to maximize pleasure. And I'd easily eat like the entire big, not the small ones, but the big bag of like Doritos and sweets and all that stuff. The strategy that I implemented to improve my diet forever, there's two things that I did. The first one was meditation. So I started to meditate daily. And what meditation will do for you in terms of your diet is that it will make it seem like the moments, like the instance when you cheat on your diet is delayed. So what I mean by this is, let's imagine like you've never meditated, and let's say that I click my fingers and give you 3 months of meditation experience for free. What will happen is the next time you're about to cheat on your diet, you'll look at the snack that you usually do, and instead of grabbing it whilst your brain is AFK and eating it whilst you're getting negative thoughts about yourself, it's kind of like you have this like gap of intellect. That's a really good phrase. Meditation gives you a gap of intellect in when you make decisions, and you stop making decisions based on emotion and you start making them on intellect, on like a prefrontal cortex. That's kind of like the part of your brain that really understands things like society and laws and regulations and goals and values. So this isn't actually bro science, but when you meditate, your prefrontal cortex, like the front part of your brain, the most advanced part of your brain, it literally gets bigger. When you meditate,
It does not.
actually, for some, I don't know the scientific process, but you grow gray matter in your brain. Like your brain gets physically big.
No.
Bigger, which is a good sign because you kind of want like a big brain, and you certainly want the prefrontal cortex, you certainly want that to work in a really, really powerful way, because that's what controls things like goals, delayed gratification, willpower, discipline. That gap of intellect will be your friend, because when you go and to a restaurant, or when you go to work or school and there's someone who's giving you something, or you got some food in the house, it's like the intelligent part of yourself is louder and able to say, oh no, but if I have that, I won't hit my goals. So what I'll just do to make this easier is I'll go and eat that healthy thing, which satisfies me usually anyway.
This is a little strange. What he's really talking about is just self-control and discipline. That is something that is developed over time, that you get better at the more you do it. Not saying meditation can't help with something like this, but the idea that meditation would be more important than just the practice of using willpower and self-control is retarded.
Instead of like your desperate monkey mind saying subconsciously, eat it, because if you don't, someone else will eat it. And you remember how one of your siblings used to always eat your favorite snack, so eat it right now, secure the calories. You remember how we used to get beat as a child, and so we're traumatized and we're constantly feel unsafe. Eat it, secure the calories, because you might die otherwise. That's like the insecure monkey primal part of our brain. And that's actually, if I may get deeper into this video, that's why you struggle with your diet. I can assure you it's because of childhood trauma. I have never met any.
All the research on obesity points to the points in the direction that food just tastes better now, and that better tasting food is just creating a stronger reward pattern in your brain to eat more. That's it. So I like, sure, childhood trauma could make somebody indulge more or something, but food, plain and simple, tastes better than it used to. All the junk food and snacks and stuff we have now taste better than they did 40, 50 years ago. And now people are fatter as a result because it just creates a greater sort of reward to eat more and more frequently.
Anyone who has problems with their diet, who was
Aaron
not
P, what's
traumatized as a child, and trying to fix the problem at the level of the problem. So trying to fix your diet with dieting tactics, with watching these fitness YouTubers, with tracking calories and all that stuff. It's a surface level remedy. It's putting a band-aid on.
The idea that you can't fix dieting problems by altering your diet is, again, fucking retarded. Again, all the latest obesity research suggests that, yes, the food options that you have matter. And if you deliberately choose foods that are less processed, less palatable, don't taste as good, you are less likely to overindulge, eat more frequently, and it's easier to manage your weight if you're actually able to control your food selection. So what the fuck is he talking about?
On a gash. Because you need to figure out why this is happening in the first place, not just how to try and overcome it, watching some cute fitness influencer talking about, how to like eat cleaner or something. This is coming because you stay in a state of pain and a lack of safety and anxiety because you were hurt as a child. The love.
I don't know how the fuck you can make such a general claim. Like, if you ask most people why they're eating ice cream, they're not going to fucking tell you, well, I was traumatized as a child and I'm looking for some sort of relief. Like, they're just going to tell you because it fucking tastes good. It usually is that simple. The reason somebody's eating something is because it fucking tastes good.
Love that your parents gave you wasn't consistent enough, and that's put you into this like fight or flight, like PvP enabled mode. And when you're in this mode, you can't delay gratification that much. You can't like think for the future because you're constantly in this state of worrying about now. This is why you're probably struggling with your diet. And I'm sure there's someone watching this who is struggling with their diets, but they weren't traumatized as a child. That can happen. But if you're actually being honest, like, you probably had some bullshit going on. The way that your parents raised you probably wasn't good enough. They'd never read a book on parenting before they had.
Like, again, this is just a bizarre idea. Obesity rates have increased, clearly. More people are obese now than they were a few decades ago. Is his explanation for this? Well, there's more childhood trauma. Have people like suddenly gotten worse at parenting? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, that can't be the explanation.
Children, which, not most people don't, which is a bit stupid. It's a multiple year long journey to overcome that childhood trauma. I've been doing it myself, so I will just quickly tell you over the last few years what has helped me the most.
He's not sure what lie to come up with, so he's doing this long pause because he can't think of things, stupid lies quick enough on the spot.
Over the last
By the way, dude, if you're so rich and shit and you're making so much bank off your stupid Adonis school, why don't you get a fucking camera that works and has a usable autofocus? Like, holy shit. What fucking camera is this guy using? Why doesn't he have, like, a modern Sony camera that has a good fucking modern autofocus? Like, what the fuck is this?
few years, what's helped me the most with trauma the biggest thing I can tell you, breathing. Not some cute, you know.
Oh god. It has helped him the most with trauma. Oh my god. Sengoku doing anyway.
Like, oh, take a deep breath when you get stressed. You've heard that before. You don't need me to tell you that. But specifically making sure that I'm...
How long is a $50 twerk? It's up to 5 minutes. Richard Kumar Burgess.
Inhaling and exhaling fully throughout the day in moments where I am not agitated and activated. So basically, like, if you're just in a normal part of your day.
Yeah, I guess fucking what? Breathing deeply is not a cure or treatment for PTSD. So
you're doing whatever you're doing, you're watching YouTube videos, you're brushing your teeth. Really cueing and becoming more aware to yourself of your breathing and making sure that your stomach, then your chest, expands and gets smaller with each breath. Not breathing properly is the number one reason why I think I stayed in that traumatic zone up until I was like 24, 25 years old. I went through therapy.
The idea that he, like, this is what makes me think he's full of shit about his childhood trauma. Like, rather than saying therapy, meditation, mindfulness practice, just getting older and wiser and, like, being able to understand and properly internalize things that have happened. Like, rather than saying these things are what helped me overcome my childhood trauma, he says fucking breathing. Like, from somebody who had a fucking fairly traumatic childhood, I can fucking guarantee you, breathing does not help with childhood trauma.
Martial arts, coaching, EMDR therapy, which is the most effective therapy, psychedelics.
Wait, what did he say?
Most effective therapy, coaching, EMDR therapy, which is
EMDR therapy. EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and processing. It is a psychotherapy approach that was developed to help individuals process and alleviate the distressing symptoms associated with traumatic experiences, particularly post-traumatic stress disorder. Involves a structured 8-phase approach that integrates elements of cognitive behavioral therapy with bilateral stimulation, typically in the form of rapid eye movements, though other forms of stimulation like hand tapping or auditory tones can be used. Oh, I've heard of this. Okay. Involves the individual recalling distressing memories while simultaneously engaging in bilateral stimulation. This thought to help the brain process the traumatic memories, enabling the individual to process and integrate the emotions, thoughts, and sensations associated with the trauma in a more adaptive way. I don't know if that's the most effective form of therapy. Not everybody with childhood trauma has PTSD. Poopy Butt donated to. There's literally no evidence of that.
carnivore month. I noticed I was like, God, I'm a little aggro. That was when I went very strict carnivore. Most of what I'm eating is meat and eggs. But the thing is, I feel great.
Yeah.
My mind, I'm very clear-headed, and I have a lot of energy.
The only explanation for this is eating a low carbohydrate diet and restricting calories can make you more agitated because your brain isn't functioning properly and you're starved for calories. But yeah, meat eating does not make you more aggressive.
It's like every time I do it, every January, I'm like, God, why don't I eat this way all the time? The problem is I'm a glutton.
Yeah.
And I really love pasta, and I really love cheeseburgers, and I really love pizza. I fucking love pizza, man.
Do you get...
Let's see.
When I did the carnivore diet before, I would call what I'm doing now more animal based because I'm doing it from Paul's descriptions, which is I will still eat honey and a few other things. But when I did it before, I did an entire month with nothing but meat. I ate mostly ribeye steaks, and if I ate lean game meat, I ate like bacon with it.
Oh, wow.
And maybe some eggs. The difference there
He's not going to live very long if he eats like this.
was my workouts were a little flat. There's no flatness to my workouts with the fruit. When keeping the fruit in and keeping the carbohydrates from
Yes, because you need carbohydrates to actually have a high level of fitness.
the fruit and the sugars from the fruit, I don't have any problem with workout. Even fasted workouts are better.
Yeah, like only a fucking idiot would eat a zero carbohydrate diet if they're interested in fitness. Thanks for that.
Can you... Which is the most effective therapy? Psychedelics. I took mushrooms. I have not done anything stronger than that, but I've taken psychedelic mushrooms. I've done truffles. The single greatest thing that helped me for free with absolutely zero side effects was just making sure that I was breathing right through the day. So this is a protocol that I do.
Yeah, this is idiotic.
When I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, that's when I'm really aware. So I purposely brush my teeth in a way that I'm like staring at my stomach. So I brush my teeth like shirtless always. And I stare at my stomach in the mirror every time I brush my teeth. And I make sure that I'm breathing so fully that my belly moves, then my chest moves. And then especially for guys, I'm not sure what happens to girls, but for guys, up until my balls move. So literally like I'm looking at my balls when I brush my teeth. And I want them to like kind of bulge a little bit. If they don't bulge, the breath didn't even count. Like literally, if your balls don't move and you breathe.
Is he literally like copying shit Elliot Hull said like 10 years ago? Breathe through your balls? The fuck? By the way, you cannot force your balls to move.
Breathe. You didn't even take like a real breath. And you'd be very surprised because if you're not going to purposely, you know, as guys, we can kind of like move our dicks. If you're not going to purposely do that, you might be surprised that for the next few months, you can't even make your balls breathe once. And I promise you, that is actually such a big problem that you don't realize. And if I was going to go back in time right now and I see younger Hamza, who is spending all of his time trying to make muscle to attract women, or he's spending all of his time on business, I'll tell him, I know that you're not going to listen to me, but if I'm going to force you to do something, I force you to make this your main goal. Because everything you do after you start breathing right is just going to be better. You bring so much better energy. Like you can say this is some spiritual woo-woo. I am telling you the truth. You bring your real, authentic, loving self to everything you do, including your diets, but also your work, your relationships with people, when you aren't constraining your stomach. Your stomach is a very special place of power, of love, of sexual energy. And all of these things will absolutely impact your diet choices. But when your stomach is constricted, and it really is, even though you're not aware of it, it really is constricted, then you're not going to bring like the free energy to life. So when you do have that tight stomach because you haven't learned to breathe properly, you're going to start to take more shorter term decisions. You're going to cheat on your diet. You're going to eat the cake or the biscuit or the junk food instead of going.
Yeah, breathing does not make you eat junk food. Or, sorry, lack of breathing. Or lack of breathing deeply doesn't make you eat fucking junk food. Oh my god. Where did he get this, like, stupid fucking idea from? Because it sounds like Elliot Hulse. It sounds to me like he's copying shit that Elliot Hulse said from years ago.
Home and just preparing the food like you said you would, because you're in a state of fight or flight. You're literally suffocating without even realizing it, because this is how you've breathed all your entire life. So if you can try this right now, if you take a breath
For the donation duchy.
and your stomach moves outwards, keep breathing until your chest moves outwards. Keep breathing until your balls move. You probably forced it then. You probably like forced your balls to move. That wasn't real. But if you kept on doing this, there'll be a time when you're not actually moving your balls.
You can't force your balls to move. They will contract or sag based on things like whether or not they're getting bounced around. So like actually hitting them if you're running a lot, or if you're fighting or something, they'll contract a little bit. If it's very warm, they'll sag more. If it's very cold, they'll shrivel up. You can't, like, there's no muscle around your fucking balls that you can just control.
They move naturally. That is a full breath. And then, very importantly, I didn't do it that time because I spoke. My apologies, but you need to then make sure you exhale literally all the air as if you're dying. There's almost like a little bit you've got to push out. I know that this wasn't what you were expecting in this video, and you probably wanted some like basic surface level advice. You probably knew that you weren't going to get that from me, and I was going to say some weird shit like breathe into your balls. But this will actually help you a lot more. Like those fitness pieces of advice, tracking your macros and everything, that stuff's really cool. But if you don't have the foundation of your health, which is your breath, trying to do any kind of like random tactic of weighing your food on MyFitnessPal is not going to help you. Even if it helps you, like imagine you do it perfectly with perfect consistency and you lose the weight, congratulations. You've lost the weight, but you're still not even alive. Okay, you've got a six pack, but you're not even breathing. You've got a six pack and your dick is inside of a girl right now, which was your ultimate goal. You're not even breathing or enjoying yourself. Your mouth breathing there. If you saw a video of yourself, you'd be there, like basically like dead inside, mouth breathing whilst you're fucking this girl that you prized yourself on. Chasing after all of these.
Like, it's just so baffling what he's fucking saying. So now he's admitting that, yeah, you can lose weight and manage your weight using an actual effective strategy. And then he's like, but you're not breathing deep, so anything you do is not the least bit pleasurable. Like, what?
Real world accomplishments, including like the improvements of your diet, especially because most likely you're doing it for a shallow reason, because you just want to get laid or you want to attract the opposite sex. That's not shallow, actually. I won't lie to you, it's not shallow. That's actually a very like primal, huge desire. But whatever you're improving your diet for, is it not for health and a better life? And you can shortcut that by making sure you breathe right. And then I promise you, when you take a deep breath, when you are encountering a moment of cheating on your diet and you're in the kitchen and you see that thing that you've always cheated on your diet with in front of you, and you just breathe all the way fully, you'll have this like calm serenity. You'll have this moments of intellect, and that will really help you. Then I want to give you another piece of advice, which is actually diet focused. So I apologize if this is just all you wanted to hear was like specific diet, tell me what to eat.
I'm
not going to tell you what to eat, because when you look online, you know this, there's a lot of different information isn't there. And so one of the hardest parts of improving your diet for you has been that everyone is disagreeing with each other. And so if we looked at your diet history, we'd see that you had tried like 20 different things over the last few years, right? Maybe even 100 different diets, foods, this fasting protocol, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. None of that is infinite or sustainable. And it's kind of like being a shit entrepreneur where you just keep trying a business model, new business model. You're gonna make no progress, right? It's better to have like a crappy business model. It's better to have kind of like a crappy diet, but be able to sustain it forever and then keep making small 1% improvements to it. What no one online is gonna tell you, none of these fitness guys and everything, is truthfully, you can become healthy with virtually any of the diet people talk about. You just have to follow like one golden rule. And the golden rule, don't eat shit. That's the one rule if you want to have a...
I mean, there are diets where you literally only eat shit. It's called the carnivore diet. So I don't know how the hell that's really useful advice.
Healthy diets. Don't try and restrict yourself. Don't even go on the carnivore diet. So often I'll go on the carnivore diet where I'll literally just eat meat. It's a very restrictive diet. I have the discipline to maintain that, but many people...
Yeah, so you're an idiot.
Sing?
All right, I shall sing for you.
People don't, which is fine. What I would say to you, what I would recommend to you, imagine you were like asking me for advice personally and I was at your house. And you were telling me, okay, this is the diet you're trying right now. You're going to have like this shot of apple cider vinegar because some YouTuber said it was good. And then you're going to fast for 16 hours and then you're going to do this. What I would tell you is, first of all, let's throw away all the food that you've got in here because it's all rubbish. Eat the kind of diet that you could eat every single day for the rest of your life, like the foods that you could eat. So if I'm saying, okay, there's some people who literally eat only meat. There's some people who literally eat only vegetables. If you would find that hard to sustain because you want vegetables and meats, then just eat both. Don't overthink it because...
Or you could just eat a vegan diet, and you have enough options there, including mock meats, where anybody can follow that type of dietary pattern. It's provably, demonstrably better for you. And it's also better for the animals, the environment. Could just do that. Dodo. Thanks, Dodo.
Dieting is hard enough, like without getting to this extreme level.
Vegan diet is not extreme.
Dieting is, oh god, that to sustain it. So what will be better is if you just follow this one rule, this one exercise, like this action step. Tell me how many ingredients you eat. What is the number? The moment you can tell me that, you'll be healthy. Simple as that.
No. There's different types of processed food. Like sugar is one ingredient. It's sugar. Is sugar healthy for you? Like, can I literally just drink sugar water because it has one ingredient? Dodo.
How many ingredients you eat? First of all, what is an ingredient? An ingredient is the singular food source that's on the back of, like, you know, when you buy something and you look at the back, it's the ingredients list. That. Tell me how many ingredients you eat. Right now, for 99% of the population, or more than that.
Like, I mean, you could make a curry that has like 10 or 15 ingredients. Like, there's, 5 or 6 different spices. There's 5 or 6 different vegetables. Like, is it bad for you? Like, no. So what the fuck does it matter if there's like an ingredients list?
They can't. They'd have to guess, and their guess would be wildly inaccurate. They'd have to go through all of the random cardboard boxes of pizza and sweets and random shit that they eat and bread and stuff and count it all up, and it'd be probably like 70 to 200. unacceptable. When you can look me in the eyes and you can say,
Okay, cool. So, I guess Tang, because there's only like 2 or 3 ingredients in Tang: sugar, food coloring, and orange flavor. It's good for you.
here are the ingredients that I eat: beef, chicken, sweet potatoes, oranges, bananas, honey, and seasoning. You will be healthy.
No, if your diet is primarily consisting of red meat and animal products, you will not be healthy.
When you can literally like spout out a list, not of foods, not of meals, but of ingredients, of literally the pure, like singular food source, then you'll be healthy. This is the golden rule.
No, he's literally assuming every food is healthy.
So how many ingredients do you eat? You can go and find out. You could go and find all your meals right now, see what the ingredients are, and you might be surprised that that random like chicken salad that looks kind of healthy, or the chicken sandwich or something that you might get at work or school, and you look at the back and it's like it's got 50 random fucking ingredients, and you're like, what the fuck is an emulsifier? Half of these words.
What? An emulsifier is something that can combine water and fat. That's what an emulsifier is. Like, why is an emulsifier bad for you?
Words you don't even know, you've never read before, and they're not even a real food source. It's some random shit that's been put in there to make it easy for like normies to eat.
This guy literally doesn't understand what an emulsifier is, and he's just
They have only
assuming-
been doing it to the plastic.
He doesn't even know what an emulsifier is, and he's just assuming it's bad.
But when you can literally think to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm going to start from the baseline, and I'm going to start with just a few ingredients. I'm going to have a carb source, rice or sweet potatoes. I'm going to experiment and see which one's better for me. And now I'm just going to have like sweet potatoes seems fine for me. I'm just going to have a fuck ton of them every day. So I personally have like just under 1 kilogram of sweet potatoes every day. Feels awesome. I'm strong as fuck in the gym now. Sweet. Sometimes I'll go on to carnivore and I won't eat any plants. I won't eat any vegetables. But when I'm really into the gym, then I'll eat.
Yeah, again, this is just assuming every food you can possibly eat is healthy. That's just idiotic.
Sweet potatoes. I'll eat like 1 kilogram of it a day, and I hit PRs every workout. Like when I really enjoy my workout, that's when I start doing. Then I also have beef. I have chicken. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll have like a different meat, like lamb. I have butter. I have kefir, which is kind of like raw milk, and then I have fruit. The seasonings I have are basic as well. I don't even have like any kind of like.
The only foods he's eating that are good for him are sweet potatoes and fruit.
Middle Eastern style seasonings because they often upset my stomach. I have salt. I have pepper. That's about it. I can look you in the eyes and I can tell you my list of ingredients.
So he eats like shit for the most part, aside from the sweet potatoes and fruit he eats. And this idiot is giving you diet advice. Genius.